Hello everyone, my name is Justin and welcome back to the channel. Today we will be using the AI tool V0 by Versal to create an app. V0 is a great AI platform for coding with its built-in IDE and its fully functional integration into publicly available data, allowing us to configure real-life apps and not just mock-ups using fake data. It's not just something that looks pretty, it's fully functional. We'll demonstrate that in today's showcase. As you can see on the screen before you, what we have is the V0 homepage. And the homepage is pretty straightforward, and after you sign up and make an account, you can create an app fairly easily. I'm going to show you the prompt that I used for my app development, and then I'll actually show you the app and the different versions that we took. As you can see from the prompt, I just asked V0 to build an app for me that has clean and neat UX design. It's something that's, real techy because I'm a nerd. And it's aesthetically pleasing with the primary colors of forest green and navy blue. And now, while you can ask it to create just about any kind of app, the app that we're using today is a PC part picker comparison app, and specifically the prices and the availability. It provides information of each part, CPUs and GPUs, based off of availability, price tag, and the overall sentiment analysis of it. It'll use news articles, Reddit, and YouTube reviews, all things that are publicly available, but it actually ties it into the functionality of the application, making it a full functioning app. So with all this, which I will post in the description, so don't worry about that. You'll have it in the description. You don't have to just pause it on your screen. Let's take a look and see what was generated from the first time that I plugged this prompt, into the app to see what it developed. One second. So the very first time that I plugged this prompt into the app, this is what was displayed. We had 4 CPUs able to be tracked, 4 GPUs able to be tracked. It showed the average price dropped, but overall, it's a really well functioning app, and it works quite well. Just off of pure eye test. But this isn't exactly what I wanted. And you can see down here in the disclaimer, prices are updated every 15 minutes, which from the official retailer APIs. It's like I mentioned before. V0 has access to real life data, so you're not just making just a mock-up that looks good. It actually is fully functional. And this is just our homepage dashboard. If you want to see some sentiment analysis, look at this here. We have the full sentiment analysis page with all the scores based off of the 4 CPUs and GPUs that we created, and even the feed, which is talking about the different, I guess you could say, reviews or the way people are feeling about the item in question. And our comparison component, it compares these 3, but if we click add CPU, we can add that last remaining CPU, and the same thing with the GPU. It'll compare each of those one to another and then give you recommendations based off of price tag as well as benchmarking and functionality. And if you want more in-depth recommendations, you can click on the recommendations tab and then proceed to look through here, sort it according to your liking. Now this was version 1. And while version 1 was great, it's not exactly what I was looking for as a final product. As you can see on the left side here, it broke down each step that it did and built it all, but then this was my response. It was a great start, but I had some critiquing. I didn't like how the words here are in black, so I wanted to see if we could change it to white. And then also, instead of 4 CPUs or GPUs, because that doesn't really give us that too big of a market, let's go up to 20. That way the list is more extensive. And then here where it shows the top retailers, I wanted it to be a functional link that we could actually click on and not just something that just sits here and looks like a link. So that's how we got to version 2. So let's switch this to version 2. Now here in version 2, as you'll notice, it still didn't fix these letters here. Now it said that it did, but I think it just simply created class groupings for them, but didn't actually create its own grouping, so to speak. But what it did do, it added 20 CPUs, 20 GPUs, and it also made these links down here fully functional, taking us to different web pages. For example, if I click on this one, it takes me right to the Best Buy homepage. And so on if I go to Newegg. And same with both Micro Center and Amazon, while still showing the best prices. And this is functional for all 20 devices. And still, like mentioned before, the prices are updated every 15 minutes. This is a live list. When I first built this application, these were not the prices of all of these units. Now, if we check the sentiment is still the same based off of, but now it's based off of the all 20 devices. It's not just simply based off of what's in play or what needs to be. It's going off of exactly what I asked it to do. And same with the comparison. We now can add all 20 devices. And same with the recommendations, because now it shows 40 results for all of them. Or if we switch it to CPU and GPU, it shows 20 results accordingly. And you can still sort it based off of your desired product use. But that still wasn't exactly what I wanted, because I thought that we could take this a little bit further. As you can see here, I said this is really good. My last request is on the price trends. Can those values make the color of the text white? So that's how we get to version 3. When we change this to version 3, now you can see it finally got the text the way I wanted it. It has things in white, nice and plain and easy to see, while still keeping the functionality of all the other components of it. But me, I was feeling a little bit greedy, so I had one more thing to ask for it. And this last thing was, let's add a component for the price trend section that allows the user to select which 3 GPUs and CPUs are on the trend chart so they can compare the exact units they want. Because why would I want just static information here when I don't care about these 3? I may not care about these 3 particular CPUs or GPUs. I want to compare what I want to compare. So let's look at version 4. Here in version 4, you now have a fully customizable trend list that lets you remove and add different parts and see the trends for both CPU and GPU. Fully functional. Now, with that all being said, I personally think that this was a really interesting experience, because this was my first time utilizing AI to this extent. I had done some coding with AI before, but not to this extent. And I think this was a eye-opening experience at the current level of AI, and also a very interesting experience of the great functionality of it. So if I was rating this out of 10, I would give this for sure a solid 9 out of 10. This was a great experience, and I very much enjoyed using this platform. And I would say, in regards to my expectations, it exceeded my expectations. Not by a crazy amount, but it for sure exceeded my expectations with the ease of building it. I think the only thing that I would improve upon with the way the app currently is set up, and this isn't necessarily a knock on the app, I think that this would be, well, I keep saying app, the way the AI platform is currently set up. I think that the only thing I would improve is potentially some of the wording. You have to be a really, really, really granular, which isn't a problem for me because I do tend to like being very specific. But as you saw, I had to input asking it to make those words white. I asked it twice to do that. So that's the only thing that I would see if we can improve on. It seemed like it missed it the first time. It was more focused on the second function that I detailed. Now, for small or medium-sized businesses, I think tools like these will be immensely important, because small and medium businesses, they tend to work with real tight budgets, and their margins aren't always as big as other large corporations. And sometimes they can't hire an app developer or some web app developer, or whatever the job title might be. But by using a component like this, I signed up for free. They can easily build certain applications which, while it may not be a proprietary app in regard to its function, but it can at least do what the company needs it to do to allow their team to move forward, for their clients to work, for them to gain profit, or whatever it is that they may be needing to do. Now, I didn't run into many challenges or limitations when using this tool. Like I said, the only really kind of issue that I ran into was getting those colors to be the way I wanted. I'd say that the challenge that you could call a challenge that I ran into, was just the fact that it seemed a little bit, it wasn't full enough for me. That's why I asked it, to add the price trending component where we can customize it. Why I asked it to add, more GPUs and more CPUs, because when it first came out with just the 4, and then not having this customizability on this, supposed to be a full recommendation chart, or at least seeing what options are out there, that really doesn't serve the point of what the application is meant to do. So that was one of the challenges that I ran into. And I think that small and medium companies, they could use tools like V0 to improve their operations, not only because, as previously mentioned, they would be able to utilize this great app development platform for essentially free if they don't get the paid version, but I also think that they'd be able to use it to help them with things like inventory management or documentation, things that they may currently struggle with by not having a certain system in place, whether that system is free or not, they just don't have it in place. By using V0, they may be able to develop an app that would allow them to then create a system that helps solve that crisis or that problem that they currently have in their environment. Thank you. I hope you all enjoyed.